Hello, how are you? Welcome. I'll do about a few seconds more. Let a few more people on here. Okay, welcome. I start this crochet project a couple nights ago, and it turned out very nice, and I think it's really pretty. So I wanted to share with you. Hopefully that I can get it done today, and it's getting pretty long already. So I have mm, about 3 feet long already. So this is a special um, sorry, patterns. Okay, I think typically they call it lotus flowers. Okay, or I'll call it jasmine flowers. It just bunch of strings of flowers that crochet all together very cleverly. Okay, so I really love the patterns because I had produced so many scarves on these patterns right here because I just love the way almost like a 3D poking out kind of pattern. So it's no right or wrong side of it. Okay, so the another side of it is a little bit, the texture is a little bit different than the right side. So you can say the back side or the front side. Okay, so typically I wear the front side, which is the little flatter side here. Okay? And the back sides look a little bit bulgier, but overall it's such a pretty patterns. I had finished a few scarf already. I know it's too warm for any kind of scarf right now, so you won't appreciate it until like the winter is here and that it's getting cold and that you can see the values of the scarf. Right now you said it's 150 degree. Why are you doing that? True. But you know what? I mean, we are down almost half month to go. Okay. Sorry, the air conditioning is on. I'm allergic to all the airborne dust. Okay, so if I don't start now, I won't have gift done by December. Typically, what I got in a lazy mode, I would wait until fall comes, and then I get lazy. I'll wait until Christmas comes. By then, I don't have time. So if it's that early, I would have something that to share with my family and friends, and of course co-worker also. And and my intention was to have a few of this done, and I wanted to do something nice for my fans, my followers, and that I will do the lottery name select, and never know, one of you might be the lucky winner to receive one of this scarf. Okay, if you're a man person, I do make men patterns also, but this right here is favorable for beautiful women. Okay, so and then I will add. I'm not quite done yet. At this point, I'm probably gonna add about another foot to go. Okay, until see. So you can like right now is down to my waist size because I'm short, so it's for short person. But what I have real intent is to select one lucky fans and followers. Okay, and if you're female, this would be perfect, and let me know what color you like. I will try to accommodate the different colors. And but this is one of the neutral colors. This yarn is quite expensive, so I have not spent the whole spool yet because it's such a long. It's a good spool. Okay, some are small, some are big, but this right here I'm happy with. It's so fluffy. Look, it's almost like the wool. Okay, I can't remember what it was, wool or not, but it feel like wool. Look at all the extra linen there. Okay, so So that's what I'm going to do, is that I'm going to crochet a whole bunch of this for gift for Christmas, and then I will select one lucky fan of mine, and all I need to send the mailing address and pay for the um, the package and um, the mailing and handlings. Okay, and if you would like to order these, I'll be happy to share with them, with you guys. So this, I typically sell this for $50 because all the work, as few of you who we hear online, that I spend like half a night crochet this. Okay, but in a normal circumstance, it would take about a full day of crocheting this, because it's considered a very intricate design, so it take a little bit of skills, a little bit of patience, and a little bit of times. Okay, so if you were to to divide this in times, and I don't even get paid $50 per hour for this. 50 cents per hour, not $50. So $50 for Handmade USA, it's nothing, okay, compared to machine made and cheap labors and out of country. This is made by Chef Inn here in US. Loving it. Okay, and beautiful spool. Since I have about almost halfway done, you know, I mean, it is beautiful. I mean, it go well with the neutral color, would go well with any kind of outfit, and that's what I like about the neutral colors. Okay, so excuse me, I had some spicy food earlier, so this is my infused fruit drinks. So yes, so make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you send me a drop of hellos, or keep your communication with me, so that way when I'm ready to select my lucky winner to receive the gift from me, okay, it will be a beautiful scarf, whether it's for men or woman. And I will try to make men pattern available, just in case that somebody came along that male person would have the gift from me. But this is for female patterns. Okay, it's called Lotus Flowers, or I call it jasmine flowers, because I love jasmine, so it worked well for jasmine. So today I'm working with hook number 2.75 mm or C. Okay, so I love this tied up. I'm sorry, I have my 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 fur babies they stay in the room with me, so I should have let them out early. No, I let them back in the house. They were spending some time outside enjoying the weather, which is pretty hot. No, I only let them out to do the little thing, and I'll bring them right back. I don't try to keep them out there when the weather is too scorchy. That's what's going on right now. The weather is so scorchy. So I already started a couple nights ago. I worked on it a little bit last night, and then today I went online and do my cooking. So I thought that if I don't get online and do this and show you the finishing of this scarf, it will miss the fun, right? And I'm trying to add a little frill, make it look pretty, you know, maybe half of the flower here and just a normal scarf. Okay, so yeah, absolutely, I love this particular this lattice flowers here, because it's so pretty when it's done, and I always get compliment when I wear it. And I kept a few. I have some white, blue, green, and of course the rainbow colors. Because you know how they always said that the chef never gotten to eat his own cooking because he's busy cooking for everybody else. Same thing for people who do the crocheting, you know, busy crocheting for everybody else, and you never have a possession of your own work. But I'm not doing that no more. I said, once I'm done giving people, done with orders, and I will make myself plenty of this So that way, you know, it'll go well when winter come. And I also do beanies. I initial my beanie, I put flowers. I also do uh, the pretty, pretty headband. You see, I wear this on my cooking show to keep my sweat and my hair from falling onto the food. Okay, so it's so pretty. This beautiful floral here, the roses. Okay, and then different style of hairband. I can do thick bands or skinny bands. I'm fascinated with rose because rose is so pretty and it's so easy to make. So I would love to do this and show you how to make it. Look at the petals of the rose and you tell me that's not lovely. It's so lovely. Okay? The different layer of the petals and the detail of it is just like, you know, I mean, it's so pretty. And then I was fascinated with the Cambodian flower. It's called Rumdul. Rumdul is a Cambodian national flowers. It only have 3 petals, and then you know, and then the petal in the middle here, and it look exactly like that. Okay, yeah, look like that. I don't have a tree of it because I would have to get it from Cambodia, but then they don't allow to bring seedlings, so I can't have it. So then for me to replica of the Cambodian national flowers, Karumdul. So I come up with the with the patterns, okay, a couple weeks ago, more than a couple weeks ago. So I finally finished it, and this is the actual colors here. Maybe a little bit deeper color, but the yellow was the colors. Okay, so this is Karumdul, the Cambodian national flowers. It's, I think they said that Karumdul is supposed to be so the fragrance is like very, very sweet, almost similar to Champaka. And I make it red. I haven't put leaves on this one. First, when I started creating the pattern, I had it in red, so I thought it'd be nice. But then this is the actual color here, Champa. And then I have a few somewhere too. And then of course I make these lilac colors, you know, it's just me imagining things and creating a different pattern, okay, because people who love to cook and they will figure out the inventing their creating their recipe, right? And people who love crocheting, they always love a way to create patterns, okay, learn it from others or create your own pattern, which is more originality. So this I it take a little bit of consideration to do that, but this one right here is my latest invention where I create the patterns, which I now have the patterns. So I will show with you. I will share with you my apologies. So here are my cooking headbands. You know, some of them had skinny bands, some of them had thick bands. So this fit for winter. Keep your hair together while you at the gym, or while you playing sport, or while you keeping your ear warm and your head in place. You know, it's such beautiful idea for gift. And I make a whole lot for the babies, and every newborn, almost every newborn in my family received some sort of crochet work from me. The last blanket making to my baby girl who was born last year in April, and she's a little over 1. And I made her this beautiful motif heart shaped blanket, and her mom loving it. Every time when my baby girl taking picture, her mom would have it on she would have it on the, what do you call it, have the picture with the baby, you know, lay the blanket on the couch, on the front, on the ground, wherever. She's just loving it, you know. And yes, so this is some of the easy things that I can join and share with you, because it is my joy. Okay, I mean, I consider this, it's not a career, you know. I consider this a way of me relaxing, and also consider what do you call it, occupational therapy. If you the kind of person that always be troublesome by a lot of things that's going on in the family or in personal life, what have you. I've been there and done that. So I do crochet just to help me focusing on my own well-being, that my mind's not wandered, it's not troubled by anybody problems. Let it fix itself, let someone else take care of it. Sometimes there's certain thing that we can't fix and we can't fix, right? So it's that. So for me to focusing on my own mental health. So I learned to crochet, I learned to knit. Actually, I learned this when I was living in Thailand. That was like at the crazy time after I escaped Cambodia. The genocide happened in 1975. um, our family left early to Thailand border, and we found ourselves in a refugee camp for almost good 6 years, from night. So um, there was nothing to do in the camp save for stay in line for some food, and food that was fresh, and have to take it home and prepare it. And there was no cooking facility. Have to go collect firewood somewhere, and people being abused, being killed, being raped. I mean, to think back is like it's like a mental institution, I mean, to survive the camp living and to survive the genocide and the ethnic cleansing that was orchestrated by the Khmer Rouge back in the days. Now people almost forgotten about what's going on. I didn't forget about it because it's affected me in some profound way, but I chose not to dwell in that type of environment. So I brought myself out, and I create out of my emotional detachment from what I have to go through in the days when I was just a child, left home, not left home, left the country when about 10, in 1974. Yeah, 9, 10, yeah. So and then was in a refugee camp until 1980. Imagine. And then we came to America on August of 1980, settled in a small town called Stockton, California. A lot of work done in Stockton, California. I work with a lot of Asian community there, and work with the nonprofit organizations, and connecting the families and individual to social justice, to the social welfare, and from housing, applying the benefit that they need. Work with the school to help the family understanding with their involvement in the school, and work with the school to report truancy, and every bit of the connection with the community that I work for. So I put about a good 30 years of my life serving in the Asian community. Of course, then I served myself 34 years of raising kids. So I have 6 of them now. They're all grown. I'm a grandmother. I'm a proud grandmother. Love my grandkids. So, now that I'm in my golden age. I'm happy just to survive through all the adversaries, and the war, the camps, and having to raise the children without any type of consideration or support. It was a hard job. But then now to come back and focusing on why I crochet and keep all this in my life, because it helped with mental being. It helped when I crochet. I don't worry about anything else. I'm just focusing on get all the right the right count. If my mind wandered and I find myself, instead of going um, crossing this way, I'll go longitude, and I end up over here, and then I look at myself like, let's refocus, But this yarn right here, it has hair like that, so it's so difficult to undo, because once I crochet and then it get trapped and try to undo it, so difficult. Sometimes I have to cut in pieces. So focusing is important to do this type of work, so you can have wandered mind. Okay, so you have to focus, because you have to have the right count and the right place, the right placement, and the right crocheting, the right, I mean, yeah. So people say, it's easy. No, it is easy once you know what you're doing. Okay, but as far, none of my kids had not achieved what I achieved yet. They try. Grandkids attempted to learn to crochet. I saw this set of my twin grandchildren started some crochet, but they lose interest because they just can't get the they can't get the yarn across this little a little pull over here. Okay, so and how do you able to like use this hook here and create something, a hook and a yarn, and you come voila with this beautiful pattern. Okay, it's it's amazing, right? I mean, it's amazing skill for people who came up with this beautiful and designed this and shared and freely shared. Okay, so I have all kind of crochet book, instruction books, and I have a library of it. I love a lot of a lot of patterns was that was shared. And and I my problem is that I'm an aesthetic, what's call it, what's the word for it, for people who have learning, uh, um, shoot, I don't even remember the word. Okay, esthetician, no, not estheticians, the beautiful people in the beauty business. But anyway, one of those people that aesthetic learner, where I have to see it, to feel it, to taste it in order for me to learn. That's why cooking was important for me, because then it gave me um, uh, all of that technique where I see it, I touch it, I feel it, I chop it, I smash it, I cook it, I stir it, and then I came up with some of the beautiful ingredients and recipe in cuisine. Anyway, I cook mainly Cambodian, Thai food, and American food also. But anyway, so this right here, this baby right here is my proud work that I do beside cooking, taking care of my family, help with the current children was necessary. But mostly I have my mom who's under my care, who is aging considerably. And when the dementia kick in and the vision is getting bad and the memory is getting bad, and it's never easy. And a note to that, and my dad suffered many years ago. I think it's about 6 years ago that he passed now. My dad suffered from multiple strokes, and that left him cripples for the rest of his life, and he never walk or talk again, despite all the effort and the and all the physical therapy. He didn't regain. He just lost his wills, and so I spent almost 16 years taking care of him, total personal cares, and have to leave my job, and in fact, give up a whole lot just to be able to have the time to take care of the family. Okay, so that's why I needed this mental support that I create for myself. Okay, is to be able to deal with the things that I have to deal with in life. Because my parents are important to me, because they have give up everything in Cambodia, their homes, their land, their farms, everything that belonged to them, went across the border and brought us to America. My parents don't have to do that. I don't know what's going on, but they know what's going on. If my parents were to be selfish and not selfish, be greedy, and they don't want to leave their land, they don't want to leave their home and all that belongs to them, and they just remain in Cambodia and be killed or be persecuted like everybody else, along with the 2 million people who was killed during the time. So we're one of the lucky family who make it a life out of Cambodia. So I owe that to my dad. And then when my dad took a serious ills, and I left my job, and the state paid me very minimal to take care to be able to stay home, take care of my dad. It was 24/7 kind of work, but then the state don't compensate you enough. They just give you lead to be, not in for the rent. So that was very sick and sad. So then my children stepping in. My firstborn was generous and was helping me. My secondborn was helping with the phone bills, helping with so many things to help me navigate through the time that I take care of my dad. And my thirdborn was kicking in and helping. And then finally, when my dad passed away, and and she moved me over here to Las Vegas to be around the grandkids. I was supposed to be moving to East Coast and to be with my other children. So I have three of them living East Coast. I have three of them living here in Las Vegas, so half and half. So what I do each year is that I would make trip to just to see my kids and grandkids in East Coast and spend maybe a week, 2 weeks the most because there's so many things going on and can't really leave too long because the dog, the cat, and the humans and the plants. So like I did last couple years ago, I went during the scorching season. When I came back, the plant died. One of the cat went missing, so I was sad. And when I went to Cambodia and Thailand for a whole month, a lot of big plant died, so it was disappointing, And yeah, well, I'm not saying it's all bad, but it make a whole lot of sacrifices to even just go out of state for a little bit. So so to make a notation to that, I enjoy taking care of my family, especially my mom, who's at the age where it's gonna get critical to even take care of her. But I will always gonna be here for her and take care of her the best I know, and I'm not gonna desert my mom or even put her in the convalescent. Oops, excuse me. It's not like that. I'm not the kind of person. I'm gonna keep my mom at home and make her comfortable and be around family just like I did for my dad until he decided to cross over to another world. Okay, so and my mom, she is still very healthy, and since she got her eye surgery, that changed changed the dynamic of her ability to see better, and it's not as safe for her to do regular chore that she used to do. She used to like cooking. Now I minimize that for her, and but she still do the activity. She be outside, exercise, stretch while I'm doing my yoga outside. And I start my and then one of the things I do besides crocheting, cookings, and all that to stay fit, healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally is to do a whole lot. Not just get up and go to work and apply makeup just to cover your your blotches or your um what else your excuse me um your scars or your wrinkles. I mean, it'll come. It does not matter unless you go under knife and like pull every bit of your muscle. But no, those are not for me. I love being natural. I think being natural is like bird. You fly, you fly, and the bird fly free. And same thing for us. If we take care of ourselves emotionally, physically, mentally, well, the studies say that people who don't appear their age, that because they take care of their inside of their physical being. It's go deeper than just pretty face with makeup and color and powder and baking and all that beautiful solution, right? Or the night cream or anti-wrinkle, anti-aging, whatever it is. It does not work. Maybe it helped a little bit, but it does not help, believe me. No, I can't say that. But if you believe whatever worked for you, then do. But typically I feel that all the beauty products are expensive, and the result is not too good. Okay, so how stay young and positive and radiant and full of energy is to take care of your inner beauty. Okay, so the last few nights, sorry, I have so many allergy. When they turn on the air conditioning, I suffer. When the fan is on, I suffer. I'm just one of those like people that just live here on earth with amazement. Okay. So So what happened was that, excuse me. So take care of your inner beauty. I mean, this is what people just tell me, Vanna, I don't have the time to do it. Okay. I have to work. Um, it's true, you know, the same thing. Time is always like the time is always like the essence of everything. You know, I know that I know why time is essence of everything. 'Cause, I know that we so attached to our phone, right? Our phone will one click of one program, you just want to click and see what everybody else is doing in the world. You know, your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok. I have all that too. You know, I hardly active on my Instagram. It's connected to my Facebook, so what I post on Facebook to go direct to Instagram. That worked for me. And then the issue, the TikTok was connected to Facebook also. You know, I'm trying not to do that. And then I'm my main focusing is sometime on the TikTok. I'm not monetizing in neither. Okay, so I'm just doing this for the heck of it. So one day, maybe in a year time or so, you know. But I have been on YouTube for this is my second year, so I'm not at the level where I'm being monetized yet. But I'm just keep going. You know, I mean, one of these days it'll happen. Yeah. So. Exactly, it'll happen. Okay. Um, and then yeah, YouTube is tricky. You know, I learned that is a lot of frustration also because um, to be a YouTuber, you have to be proactive in creating your um. Hi, Katrina. Welcome. So you have to have the algorithm. You know, you have to constantly post your contents, and you know if it's not, they rescind your hour. They rescind your what do you call it, your your they will rescind your public watch hour. They will rescind your what else they do, the viewer. You know, I thought it was ridiculous. I built all that, and all of a sudden it's taken. So I have to be constantly dropping some sort of content, you know, to keep the algorithm going. You know, that related to my channel purpose and goals. But then doing this is my purpose and goal too, because I yeah I that's what I assigned to do on YouTube is cooking and crocheting and traveling, food sampling and food reviews and all that, you know, and have a lot of fun here and there. Because at this point in life, I just wanted to have time for me. You know, I have spent a lot of time take care of everybody else, take care of my communities and people in general. Hi, Katrina. Yeah, I said hi too. Thank you. Welcome. Um, Katrina said, I am cool. Thank you. You cool too. You crochet too. Send me some of your products. I'm doing the lattice. Um, I'm doing the lattice uh, patterns. Beautiful. I had this long so far. Okay, I'm almost done. I'll probably put another foot to it and then add a little frills, beautiful frills, and then yeah. Um, I know, right? It's not the right time to crochet. I was telling my audience earlier that it's funny because it's hot. It's hot, you know. I mean, um, yeah. So I would just share a little bit of my experience and where I came from, what I do to take care of my mental health, to take care of my physical, emotional, physically, and I was sharing that how crochet helped me combat depression, combat being lonely, being feel desolated, or focusing on something positive and to take care of the beauty within. You know, because the beauty product is so expensive, so you take care of here and then it glow here, and that's honest truth. Okay. Mm. Oh, you're not that good, huh? I mean, I can share some of these beautiful. I didn't do a tutorial to teach how to crochet. Okay, I can do it this slowly. I did this because I wanted to stay connected with my my followers on here. You know, because for years that I show the products of my crocheting, and they never really see me in action doing that. I actually crochet. You know, I could have gone and bought it from flea market, and I can say the same thing. Hey, I make it doily, I make this and make that. That's different, okay? But when you see me really doing this in real in the real stream live, then you know that I can crochet and that I can cook also. So you know, I mean, all of this cooking skill came from eager to learn, eager to share, and yeah. So yeah. One day you will, I can share. You know, I mean, once I'm done with this, I can go slower and give you all this a little patterns count here. Okay, so this is called lattice flower, but I call it jasmine flower. So it's really pretty. Look at that. And I love the neutral color because you can wear this with any kind of clothing. Okay, I have this in rainbow green, kind of Tiffany blue, and I have it in the rainbow colors, in the pinkish color, and varieties of well, thank you for the heart. Someone is sending the heart. Thank you. Did you do that, Katrina? Thank you. Huh? That means a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So normally I go hand in hand with TikTok. Okay, so today I'm just go singly with my focusing on my YouTube audience because they've been so great to me and subscribing and sharing and be such a good cheer to my to my to my channel. So I really appreciate them. And I was saying earlier too is that I would do a lottery, select a name. Okay, maybe two or three, that depend on how far I can get this done. And I wanted to give this as a gift, rewarding my followers and my subscribers. Okay, so I wanted to share the joys of my work, for being such a good audience, for being such a good supporter, and gotten my channel to hype up at this point in time. I'm a long way from being subscribing. I mean, for being monetizing. I'm not monetizing. I have the community watch hours, so I had a lot more to go, and I got every other criteria met, save for the public watch hour. So I got almost half done. So hopefully that by the end of this year, that YouTube will be kind enough to to be nice, because that's why they've been resinging my hour for no reason. So I have to keep, like I said earlier, I have to keep the algorithm going, like keep posting, keep doing crazy thing, whatever it is, you know. And my life is a little bit crazy, so I thought is that just being here online with you, showing you how to crochet, how I can utilize this skill to heal me. Okay, because this heal, and a note to that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you will one day just need to like you know, I'm obsessed with this. So I have about I'm not gonna say how many of needle, but I like this brand so far. I used to get it from the not Indoor by Hobby Lobby, but then I grab a few of these and I keep losing it, misplacing it, because I travel with this also. Sometimes I left it at my family at my family, what have you. So I love this because I just like the grip and the big grip. Okay, so I have all kind of crocheting needles. So to yeah, so so I'm not kidding. So I had a whole bunch, and um so I'm not kidding. Okay, so these are the fine needles for doily, and like with that is even more patient because yeah, you work with threads and like making beautiful um veils and beautiful sock and all that. Well, I would say just go to Walmart, you get it cheaper. Don't ask me to make something that's gonna cost you $50 and you said, yeah, too much. Yes, of course. And then of course I'm not exaggerating when I said I love crocheting. It's not a career, but it's close to so so I had a chubby one like that, for something big and some big and huge project. So yeah, there's no kidding when I said I love crocheting. I love cooking. Same thing. Okay, I mean same thing. Yeah. So I'm not kidding you. I've been crocheting for a long time, and then sometimes when my family said I can't crochet anymore, Vanna, here you keep the hooks, and then I keep this with me. I have about 7 of these, but I keep missing it, so I only have about 5 left. So I love this because the grip is so good, and it's when you crochet as long as I am, you're starting to feel it. I mean, the pain coming in. That's why I do yoga, so that way I'm stretchy. So there was another thing that I was saying, that I'm not only doing the crocheting, the cooking to help me stay focusing on me, not anybody else. Okay, I have time for that. But when I cook, when I crochet, when I do yoga, that's my time. And I was emphasized earlier that people say, "Oh, I don't have time, Vanna. I'm not like you. You have time." No, we not all of us have time, but we have to make time for ourselves. Um, you have 8 hours working, maybe 30-40 minutes of driving time, and then you come home, and then this is the impediment right here. Yeah. Why? I mean, not the beautiful man. I'm talking about the phone. If you spend more than 4 or 5 hours per day on the phone, I guarantee you that you can make one sacrifice of your online time, your internet surfing time, 1 hour a day, you'll be looking gorgeous. Everything will be tight and flat and beautiful. And once you exercise, you release the healthy hormone, the good hormones, and it'll make you look nicer. Okay. I'm not all tight because I started doing exercise too much. I started losing too much weight, and I went down to like 118s and wearing size 2, and then I quit doing that for a long time because I don't want to lose all that. I don't want to be as flat as the chalkboard. So then, but I do that very lightly, so that way I can still be stretchy, so that way I can sweat, and that way I can release the good hormones to give me that the beautiful glow physically, mentally. I mean, you have to fix what's broken inside in order for you to repair hair, because the skin cell, as we get older, it die. The hair cell, the skin cell, but I still have lashes though. I mean, my family have big beautiful lashes. All I do is just do mascara, but my daughters, they do the lash extension, but because I'm allergic to glue, so I can't do that. And then I'm allergic to the products that they do for the gel, the nails, and the pedicure, the manicure. So I have a lot of allergy crappy stuff. So I used to have like a break, the skin issue, the skin problem, on my hand, itching and all that. So I figured out what's wrong with me. Maybe I had the COVID shot and whatever it was, and then I finally narrowed it down to the things that I'm allergic to. I have to go to the dermatologist, and they give me this expensive tube of cream, like $300 worth of it, and then I put it on and follow instruction, and that didn't go away neither. So I figured out that if I remove the nail product, and now I just do regular nail colors. So I don't do the gel, and I think I was allergic to the beams or one of the products. So I know my kids, my nieces do nails, they do beautiful, pretty good. What do you like? I do for you, all that glitter. So anyway, so I can't do that neither. So I just I just use the mascara, trying to define define my lashes. It looked beautiful. I like it. I just take it off at night and reapply when I need it. If not, I just go plain and simple and look scary as heck. But anyway, let's go back to the crocheting because I wanted to get this done. I linger on it. The other nights I spent a few hours on it and trying to see who's still up awakened that late, and I was talking to this beautiful lady also. In fact, she's from the same town that my kid living in Jersey. Not same town, she's close to Cherry Hill. So we just talking about crocheting because I was crocheting late at night. So she came up and popped her hello with me. So that was nice of her. Oh. Yeah. So I missed my count. Yes, so it was nice of her. So we talked a little bit, just like I did to Katrina, and she oh, welcome, Bob. I gotta do this right. I gotta finish this before winter comes. No, Milestone, welcome, love. Thank you. You're gonna be my moderators because, guess what? As nice as I could be, as sweet and beautiful as I could be, I still have haters. I don't even do nothing to people. I'm just on here loving my life and do my cooking, do my crocheting. And I have somebody come up here and say the meanest thing, like I was cooking and then he can come up with the term, say poo poo pee pee. I'm like, is that goo goo gaga? Are you a little child? So, it does not break my heart, but it's just so silly how people can be so mean, if I were out here challenging on his mama, to have a fight on the ring, then, he have that right to like criticizing what I do, if you don't appreciate people's food, then you don't have appreciation for anything. So I have my, my PI now. If anyone wanted to be as funny as heck, then you're gonna get it from him because he he's just like a policeman without a badge. He can tell you exactly as it is. He can be vulgar if you driven him. He can be as nice as a little priest or a little monk. That depends on what people do to my channel. Yeah, I'll let him take care of that because when I was cooking, I don't have time to look at my what you call it, my conversation that people sent me, my comment. So I was thinking that everything is fine dandy until he snapshot and this person, and I trying to go back, and it was on the person was on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok today. Maybe I should put them on. Maybe I should put on my TikTok also. So it's not funny, It was it was a hurtful feeling, but then I try not to linger on it because I'm way better than that person. He must be a very unhappy and dark soul, to come up to people that you don't know and just being as negative, being as blunt like that. To me, it's senseless because you can't hate people that you don't know, unless you're driven by anger or you're driven by hates, So Yeah, and that's why, and that's why our world is turning crazy, because we have people like that. You know, we have troll people who just have nothing to say or appreciate for anybody effort. You know, because they're so unhappy, so then they have to pull people to come down to their stage and to their level, and you're not succeeded. I've been to any kind of um, difficulty to to be affected by something as childish as trolls on internet. You know, there's a lot of them, and for some folk who can't handle it, you know, I mean, for me, if I don't have to deal with anybody like that. If I don't like the way you come on to my channels and be so derogatory and being unfriendly and be a troll like that, I just block you. I don't have issue losing 1 or 2 followers who just come in here and be negative, be so blunt, so rude. You know, I mean, to ruin a day, ruin a night for someone. So I don't need that. Because my producer, he has his own channel also, and he had thousand of followers. I mean, not thousand. Yeah, 100. I will say 100,000 of followers, and he get thousand of comments and messages, and take day to read, and by the time you get to who's saying what, you know, it, it's senseless to do that. So he assigns a few of the of the troll detective. So they get right into it, you know, and whoever come up with this crazy negative idea, just block them. You know, I mean, we don't need that kind of energy, not in our life, not in our channel, not anywhere. You know, we don't need that kind of energy. We need to respect each other boundary, because if someone subscribe to my channel, I'll go back. I'll go subscribe them too. If they're YouTube creators or they content creator, you know, I subscribe, and I give the same courtesy. But if they're not on YouTube creators and they're there just to visit with you, then, you know, I respond with common courtesy and gratitude and thanking, you know. And that's how we uplift each other. We don't need troll to come here and be negative about everything you do, you know, because everything we do, it take effort, it take planning, it take money, it take quite a bit of skill to do that, you know, and challenge to do that. So for someone to come in and trying to be funny, oh no, thank you, it's you can't go very far with that. Okay, so, but anyway, I was saying that that crocheting is my physical, no, not physical, it's called physical therapy. No, it's not. It's called occupational therapy. I don't know why it's called occupational. You know, it's you know, occupational relate to the thing that you do for a living, but then I don't know why it's occupational therapy. I think they have physical therapy, they have mental health therapy, they have school therapies, they have this occupational therapy. So that's what it's called. But anyway, so let me share with you how I deal with my physical, my what's the word? The vocational therapy. Anyway, so because I travel a whole lot, right? Maybe a couple of times a year, East Coast, to see the kid and grandkids, so that way they feel love and needed also. So between the long flight, between the waiting time, between the layover, sometimes what the flight company would do is that they delay you 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 2 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. Sometimes you have to stay overnight without them compensating. So then I always remember, either I bring books or bring this. Okay, so I know book will I'll go to sleep with books. So I'm a reader also. But then this, it keep me awake, and when my eye tired, then I take a rest. So I bring it with me. But I kid you not. Okay, so TSA been kind, so I'll be able to like bring this crochet needles with me. Okay, so I can't bring sharp object like, well, so far, TSA will allow me to bring this so that I can crochet. I think they understand the need for people to deal with flight phobia, you know, or high altitude phobias. But I need also, you know, I have a whole bunch of these needles too. Okay, so these are the knitting needles. Okay, it has, you have to have two in order to achieve the, you know, the knitting, combining the yarn together. Okay, so I can do basic. um, um, I haven't done much of the knitting because I enjoy crocheting rather than knitting. Maybe I can demonstrate how to get basic knitting. Okay, and it came in different size and lengths also, right? So I have a whole bunch of these. I have to go search for it because I haven't crocheted for, I mean, I haven't knit for a long time. So, but I keep this a few around with me because sometimes I can't reach my back and I just do this to help, you know, scratch my back. Yeah, that'll do. But then, you know, you can say that, well, crocheting is addiction. Yeah, it is. You know, sometimes why the addiction come in. It's a good addiction, you know, because you just put the yarn, you, you just bind the yarn together and come up with this beautiful scarf and sweaters or bikinis. I did bikini also. Um, in fact, I finished one bikini already. It's not for me though. I'm not bikini kind of person. My bikini is like denim short. I would go to the to this, yeah, because I have water phobia was a word for it because I drowned so many times when I was in Cambodia escaping the communists. So I drowned so many times. So I decided that water is not my thing. And my daughter trying to invite me to swim today. I said, Mom, let's go swimming. I said, oh no, thank you. It's not that I don't like to be in the public pool. You know how people are nasty. It's not clean. I don't care whether they use chlorine, whatever it is. I still don't trust them. So, and my sweetheart said, I'm going to take you to the pool and teach you how to swim. One day, perhaps. So, I didn't tell you why I'm scared of water, deep water. Okay, maybe kiddie pool. I'm good. I'm good. Well, while escaping Khmer Rouge, my dad lead the pioneers in escaping the work camp. It was a dark night, and we had to cross the river, and I lost grips of my mom, so I was swept. I swept away in the tide, and I drowned, and I woke up again. It was in a different condition, but from that experience, but no, I got drowned a few times. You know, in Cambodia, Dad built a house on the top of the riverbank, so easy access. If you want to take a bath and take shower, take a bath, I just go take bath in the river. Because Cambodia, there's no bathroom, there's no toiletry like you have here. You want a bath and you have to go to the river to take a bath, or carry the water from the rivers, from the water pond, from the wherever, and bathe yourself. You don't have shower, cold, hot, cold over here. Now they do. You know, where I was growing up, there was none. So I want to shower, then I just have to go jump in the river. Hey, I'm just sharing with you. So you got it all easy. I didn't have it all easy. You know, so. Grima said, well, sometimes I do the poop. Oh my goodness. You really do that? Oh my goodness. You do that for fun? That's messed up. You know, the kids swim too, you know. I mean, that's why. Exactly. That's what I mean, you know, people pee and poop in the public pool. So, no, I'm not going near it. I I can I can dip my feet in it, but there's one time that I went to swim at the reservoir with my kids, and I don't know how clean it is, but as long I don't dip my head into the water and not submerge and get all that in my mouth. So I mean, I'm just being careful at all costs because first of all, I'm afraid of the leech. Cambodia, Thailand, they have no, Cambodia is the worst. Cambodia has all kind of leech. There's big one like that, and little one like that, and a tiny one that you can't see. It go right into your nasal, your ear, your private part, and then they will build their concubine. Their they will build their home inside of you. By the time you know it, it'll be eating your brain. So that's a fact. So that's what I'm scared of. Water in the leech and the leech in the water. And Cambodia is awful, awful. I don't know why there's so many leeches in Cambodia, and I'm scared of it. And my dad used to take me fishing with him, and once I got one leech sucking on me, I'll be running until the leech fell off. I mean, I'm just going 100 miles per hour, and my dad used to say, "What? Look at that leech! It has a little. He's carrying a knife. He's carrying a machete." And like, where that? Where? He's being sarcastic, and for me being frightened of the leech, and that was not even funny. He used to laugh at me and said that was a funny thing. Here, let me take out the leech, for you. And he would chew the tobaccos and he spit on the leech, and the leech choke on the tobacco and release. Sometimes the the tricky thing about the leech is that both mouth had suction. I mean, when the leech suck on you, it had two side of suction on the tail and on the mouth. So there's no tail. Okay, both sides had suction, had teeth. So it sunk into your skin on this side and over like a rainbow on this side. So it'll be like hanging to you like on both sides when you pick it like this, and then one side still stick onto your skin. You pick on this side and that side. That's why I said no, thank you, Buddha. Just don't let me run into the leeches. So the horrible thing about Cambodia is that there's leeches everywhere. Okay, so I don't know about now because people start eating leeches. So I mean, the population had died down. But where I came from, when people don't eat leeches, they don't eat stuff that's not edible thing. In the day. But after the Khmer Rouge, people started to eat crazy stuff. I see that online. I'm like with disbelief that I don't remember Cambodian people eat this crazy. I never know that. Now they just do it for content. I'm not sure, but it's ridiculous. So so one day I was out in the field because my dad's a farmer, so we had herds. We had a bunch of herds and the farmhand. So I was just a little girl. My family trained me to work in the field, cooking, babysitting. When I was just a child myself, I mean, 6, 7 years old, I already had so many responsibility to help around the house because my mom and dad always be working in the farm, so they don't have time to take care of anything. So I took that. I was giving that role to care for another family member, and taught me to cook and handle the kitchen at very age. So I was sharing too that while growing up, I don't know much about Cambodia or another country, or it's just a normal thing. If you grow up in the on the mountain, then that's all you know about the mountain. If you grow up in the water, and that's all you know about is eating fish, and you grow up on the mountain, all you know is eating game meats. If you're growing on farm, all you do is just collecting blue rice paddies or water buffalo, what have you, whatever environment you're growing up in. and that's the skill that you will learn, because you will giving the skill, you were giving a calling to do it. I call it a calling, responsibility. So yeah, I know how to do rice paddy. I try water buffalo, but it was too big for me to handle. I can plow the earth with my dad when my dad was still alive. And so my dad is a farmer, so he worked hard on farm all day, whether it's rain or shine. But then he start early in the morning, like 4 in the morning, you know, when the crow first crowing, like, and my dad would be already take his farm hands and farm aids and out in the field till the earth or harvesting the crop, what have you. And he's doing that all his life, and that's all I know. So he was also a carpentry. He was a good builder. So I learned how to build also. You know, if you give me a saw and you leave me out in the wood, I will make myself a log cabin without nails. Yeah. Let me read what people sent me. Brenda asked me, am I Vietnamese? If you were here earlier, I mentioned Khmer Rouge. I came from a small, beautiful country. If you have heard of Angkor Wat, okay, it's the big monument built in Cambodia. So I'm not Vietnamese, I am Cambodian. I'm a Thai descent, was born in Cambodia, but all my family's from Thailand, but I was born in Cambodia. So I own my nationality to Cambodia, but I live here now in America, so I am American citizen. I have to do that because I don't want ice to come over my head. And no, I became American citizen years ago before any of this crazy thing. I've been in this country 45 years, so I became American citizen just a few years after I settled in America. So yeah, so I learned all my American constitutions. 100 questions. I can answer quite a few. So Katrina Moon, McDonald, say hi back. And yeah, so be nice on mine because I have my troll police. Yeah. Yeah, so there are some people ill-considerate that don't help keep the public location clean or public establishment clean. You know, just like sometimes you blame on homelessness for not help caring for perimeters. You know, they pee and they not only pee on the government property, private property, under the bridge, wherever they can, like, you know, release, they'll do it, right? So that was not, it's not very nice neither. And you can't blame them either because they don't have a bathroom, you know. But then I would take the outfield, you know, because where I came from, we don't have toilets, so we have to do the outfield. Yeah. No, my grandfather built toilet too, but then when I live in the farmhouse, we don't care. We just go, yeah, it's freelance. It's free land, not like you go do freely, because we live on the farm. So you know, we get to do whatever we want to do with our farm. Turn that into like the feeding. So yeah, people do those stuff out of ignorance. You know, I mean, I don't swim for sure, but I'm not going to go to public pool and trying to pollute it because the children who can get sick and can get contaminated. Consider that, okay? So if you think that you're going to do that to public property, then think again how it's going to affect people, and think how you want it to be treated also. Yes, and I was sharing with my sweetheart that in some country, I'm not going to name a country because people don't get mad at me, but you can go Google and see which country would do this thing. So I was traveling to one of the Asia country, right? Like the Southeast Asia. There's only 3 Southeast Asia country, okay? That is Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnamese. So, so I travel a whole lot to that country because the family, the in-law. So, took like a 22-hour flight a lot of connect flights. So finally got to the main city, and the family was there receiving with the rental car, and 6-7 hours on the road. And then I needed to go to the bathroom. I said, "Oh, looking for the bathroom. Can you pull over? I need to go to the lavatory, you know." I mean, from America, of course, or back in the day, I'm familiar with that. I'm just gonna go behind the bush, you know. I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that. I know how to handle things behind the bush or the outhouse. You know, we have outhouse. So I don't have issue with that. You know, I don't care about the snake behind me, or, you know, I can do it because you gotta go, you gotta go. So I said, pull over, you know, there's a restaurant where 7-Eleven, and being funny, right? So then my family say something in Vietnamese, and the driver pulled over. So I'm like, there's no establishment here. So where do we go release? And then my family said, no, diner. It's the language, diner. Over there. Over there with the lip. No, over there. So I followed the lip with over there. So there was rice farm on each side of the field, and then there was canal dividing, and the road and the canal and the farm and the rice farm. So I look over. Where? There. No. So I followed the no. No mean there. This. I mean, Cambodian is simple. You gotta understand what they were talking about. It depends on what situation you're in. No. I followed the lip. No. Well, I saw this skinny log, and then some bamboo, some log raised up from the water, and there was a little, what do you call it? Still no roof. It's just 4 wall and a little cute door. That built enough just when you sit down, you have the privacy, you know, but you still can see. So I said, down there. So I have to be careful, cross over the little log, you know, like, because I'm not used to it. I'm afraid I'm gonna fall into the water. So when I look down in the water, I see, there's a nest around it, around the toilet, so that it built on still up high from the water, you know, I mean, from the river. So it got 4 stilt going up like this, and there's a little cubicle with a little square box there, you know, I mean, enough to fit in. So I carefully cross over on the log into that little cubicle, and I look down and say, ooh, it's a toilet. Oh, and then fish. Ooh la. Yeah. So that's why I'm not eating fish from Asia, especially from that country. Only that too, the other day, you know, so I learned, oh wow, you know, I mean, what a clever way. From that experience, I never forget. When I share that with someone that I'm close to, say, no, it never happened like that. Well, one day I'll take you to that country. And they still do it now, you know, I mean, the farmers still collecting poop to feed the fish, and the fish feed to the marketers and to the consumer poop and put back into, it's like a cycle of life, you know, where the human consume the fish, that consume their poops and the pee, and they buy from the market, they consume it, and then they poop it, and they eat your poop, and then, I mean, the fish eat your poop, and the fish that ate your poop got sent to the market to sell to you. So it's a cycle. It's like endless cycle, you know, until you, not to mention. So yeah, so the other day I was surfing like everybody else, you know, this one is better than human poop. So they say, in this country, the farmer's so clever, he built a chicken coop over the Nile, the river, the Mekong, perhaps. You know, there's a few countries that border the Mekong River, so you figure out which one. So because I don't want to mention it and people are going to send me all kind of crappy comments, because I may lose my cool. So no, you know what? I know I have to deal with leech at that level because I'm not a good swimmer. So the things about the leech is that it does not live in the flowing water. Okay, they live in the still water, like the pond, like the water reservoir, somewhere like the water trap in a hole. But the flowing water, it get washed. So if you're in like a healthy river, definitely they're not gonna catch you. But if you're in the pond, in the water hole, in the water reservoir, the still water, it's yeah, it's a spawning place for leech. Now I know I have to deal with poop out the leech. The leech is not like the parasite. It does not poop out. Okay, it's gonna eat everything you have inside. Yes. You funny, Greener. Have you been to Asia? You should try it. Okay, the trip to this country taught me a new level because yes, when I was young in the camp, they don't have toilets, so I have to go to the natural outhouse somewhere. I'll bring I'll bring myself um something to make a hole out of it, and cover it. So, but then sometimes you don't have cover. The dog will eat it too. So then this is tricky part about Asian country. I mean, everything is recycled. Fish eat the poop, poop. The fish eat the poop. The fish that eat poop got sold in the market, and people bought the poop. The fish that eat your poop, and they into that recycle mode, right? So same thing for the dog, and that's why when people said you eat dog, eat cat, it got me so freaking mad because well, in Asia, dog are not being treated like king and queen over here. You get nice steak or nice cat dog food and get all kind of vaccination. It's not like that. The dog in Asia would let out free. It running around from neighbor to neighbor, from village to village, and if there's anything else for the dog to eat, then he will eat human feces or whatever feces they can find to feed themselves. So in some country they eat the dog eat the poop eat the dog eat the poop. So it goes in a cycle just like the fish. And I'm not joking. It's not a joke, okay? So it's real. It's sickening, but so that's why I talked to my dog. I said, you are so lucky. If you're born in the country that will eat you, they will curry you a long time ago. So when I visited the country that I have to poop in for the fish, and then I have to question myself when my in-law went to the market, and I said, oh. So to get to the village, right now it's all developed. They called me the other day. Said, "Auntie, you don't have to go. You don't have to take the canoe ride anymore. We have the street now. They built the street now. Go right into the village. You don't have to go on foot no more. You can just take a ride. We have car now. If you do come back to visit us, you don't have to bring money. You just come. Normally I'll bring money for the family at the time. This is like back in 1990, 91, 92, when American and that country they even have the establishment. So I went because it was like a mission. So I said, yeah, maybe one day, I'll go back and visit them. I miss them tremendously. They're not related to me, they're related to my family. But then the time that I spent a few times, then 4 or 5 times that I was over there, I built a rapport with his family. So even he and I no longer together, but I still have that blessing of having their love and their love. So they're on Facebook, so I always stay connected with them. So we went to the market. Yes, I got out from the airport. The family was there, 6 hour drive, and then we got out of the airport late because the year that I left, it was a big quake in Los Angeles, so the flight got canceled, and one is canceled from this airport, and it got delayed. At every airport, I got 3 days. I got stuck in Taiwan for 3 nights because there was no flight out because of the transitions of being delayed. And by the time I get the next flight, my family was was already waiting for me. They already came from 6 hour drive, 10-hour drive away. So for them to wait for me at the airport, knowing that I didn't speak enough of their language, but it was nice to receive me. So then we got to the water body because this country had so many water body to get across to the other side, and when you don't get there on time and the ferry closed, so it was so hot, damn hot. So I was in the front seat, right? So I was tired for long hour flight, long hour drive, and go through the customs and put a lot of money in my bribery so that way, they would treat me good. They did a good job because I put some money. It was bribery, I put the money in the passport so that way they don't give me a hard time. So then I was lay down to rest on the front seat, and drool and everything, snore the whole bit. And then I got my hand, like, I left the window ajar that much, and then my hand happened to, like, lay across that little jar. So when I woke up again, I got like trail of mosquito bite. Good thing I got mosquito. I got the vaccine for it, so I got like a whole bunch of mosquito bite. You can tell it's bumping. It was that little pink bump here, and it turned over like, dang, you know what I mean? It was scary. Okay, so in the country they had a lot of mosquitoes, scary. So finally got the ferry across and another couple hour drive to the village. And when we got to near the village, there's more water bodies, so we have to get on the canoe. The canoe was so heavy, and it was about this much to get drowned. They go like, row your boat gently down the stream, Mary, 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 Mary. I'm like, Lord, please let me live through these trips. Oh yeah, in the country there is no speed limit, so the driver, and there's no seat belt. The driver will put everybody in the small compact subcompact car. The family was there, like 10-15 people in a small car. Every seat is taking everywhere, taking the trunk, the whole bit. It was a van, and there was no seat belt, and he was going like 120 miles, run along that little street with the dog, the cat, the pig, the chicken running. I'm like, I can't open my eye, but I can't close my eye because just in case, so I said a prayer, Lord, if you deliver me out of this, I promise that I'll do good. I said prayer. And then so to get to the village, I have to ride in that little canoe, so yeah, it was such adventure. Finally, the first trip was hard because I didn't know any of the family members. I never seen the picture, maybe one of two sister pictures, but then the rest I don't even know who they were. But they were so loving because I bringing the dollars to them, so they was loving. I get it. Money create that love, that camaraderie, that fraternize, and right away we connect. So I didn't feel bad about bringing money at the time. My ex-spouse and I, we have money, so we do bring money to support the family because he loves his family, and I support my family side of family also. So I spent a whole month of vacation. I took vacation from work, and I travel a couple times. No, just once a year. So I make about 4 or 5 trips to this country. So until I broke up, and then I haven't been to see his family for 30 years at least. But I'm still connecting with them on social media, so they still call and request my present. I said, you gotta come, auntie or sister, we miss you. He brought his wife with him, you should have come. No, ex is ex. I don't connect with my ex. I don't care if we have $1 trillion. I'm not traveling with him. I don't. That's why divorce come. You don't deal with your ex no more. Bye, so long, exit. Left or right, exit, go. Don't return. So his family is being funny. He said, no, you come. Next time when your ex-husband come, you come with him. I said, no, if I go, I can afford my own. I don't have to go with him. For what? Please. But I don't want to go. I went to Cambodia. last year, and they know I was in Cambodia. They're like, "You come, we'll go get you from Cambodia. You can ride with us." Nope, I'm not going anywhere. I went to Thailand. I went to Cambodia, but I didn't go over on the other side of Mekong. Maybe one day I will go on the other side, Mekong. But anyway, Greta was being really very jolly. enjoy listening to your story. You are a pretty woman. A peaceful evening, and be blessed. Just don't poop. Just don't poop on any fish. You know what? We don't need to do that. I mean, we in a civilizations, and if you need to go, then you need to go. If you're in a rural area where there's no toiletry, you need to go. I mean, I seen men who pull over on freeway and just release, or some just be smart and bring themselves a bottle of water and just empty into the bottle. But for me, then now they have the female what do you call it, a release, the little cup thing, so you just put it on and collect it in the bottle. Yeah, we got smarter, I mean, we no longer subject to have to pee on freeway, and yeah, that's just very funny, right? So, but you know what? Growing up in Southeast Asia, it taught me a lot of life values. I learned to survive the Holocaust, the genocide in Cambodia. The genocide occurred in 1975, killed over 2 million people, and about 150 are my family. So don't say that I wasn't affected by it. It didn't get me because my family left early, but they got most of my family. They got most of my family. So that's why I felt so fortunate, and I have to thank the Lord for preserving my life and brought me here to this great country. And with that, I'm always emotional that I always be grateful. And when the LA riot, it bring back a lot of memory for me too. How people wanted to stay in America, and expressing their needs and their protection was out of context. And yesterday I spent the whole day watching. First they said it was peaceful protest, and it turned ugly. It wasn't peaceful. I don't want to say much because my family said, you're a Trump supporter. You have the right to support whoever you want to support. But my opinions about the riot, about the protest was not a good one. I thought it was very bad. So when I watched that, it bring back memories too. How I first came to this country is that it took me almost 6 years to get my acceptance and asylum to come to this country. First asylum was to France, and they denied our access because my dad was not feeling good. So they said that French don't want to bring people with communicable, but it was treatable. My dad was treated, and American accept our asylum, so they brought us here. So that riot bring back a lot of memory for me because America is a great nation. It depends who's in powers and allow who to be here. And America is discovered by the Aborigines. I think that's the word. The American Indians. They were here and established the land. I think at the time when the Indian folks was connected with the Lord, the Lord probably say, hey, there's a land that had honeys and fruit growing, so you move to that land and occupy the land. So they were here first, and I don't know what else the Lord communicate with the leaders, I mean with the prophets or what have you, because He does talk to the prophets. So then they were here first, and the land was great, and the land was huge, and there's plenty of rooms, and then I think later on when the European come, they didn't discover America. They just landed in the land that's already occupied, and with that came the rest of the people around the world. I don't know who the first settled here. Probably Europeans. They came through the water body. They didn't fly. There's no plane flying across the 7 seas like we do now. So I get it. I mean, I understood that America is a great nation, and that every time when we have new administration change, thing change, and I feel lucky that I got my citizenship done early and had my kid born here in America. But that's not a guarantee, though. But I came here as a refugee, so if I have a land to go back, if I had like 1,000 acres that my dad used to have, I'll go back and enjoy the land, enjoy the farming. But when I go back to Cambodia, there's nothing there no more. The land is taking, and there's some of the land that left over with my family, and that's their land. You can't take it back. And I always can go back and live in Cambodia or Thailand, because I have family in Cambodia, Thailand, in France. When the Khmer taken over, my family just got dispersed, just like 12 tribes of Israel. I have family living in South Korea, working, and I think some of them live in Japan, and I don't know about China, but the whole lot in Cambodia remain. And there's some in Thailand that I visited. My uncle is still in Thailand, and my aunt who just passed away after we visited her. But she had large families, so our families are multiplying. I multiply. I have 6 children. I have 7 grandchildren now. So I have the most clan. I replenish the earth. So yeah, grandmas. So I don't have to do that. First of all, leeches is not something to play with. I mean, it can be devastating if it get into your system, because the leech does not die when they enter your system. So it will live in your main viscera, either your lung, your heart, or into your brain. It's not like the parasite that people get parasite from eating raw meat like fish or pork or any kind of vegetable that you're not treated correctly. So yeah. So I know that all of us have story to tell, but mine was a little ugly. It was a great experience for me that delivered me here, so I enjoy this beautiful country that I call home, permanent home. So I don't have to worry about anybody kick me out of this country or even deported me, because I mean, now that being Asians is almost like the epitomes of fears that you can get picked up and without due process. By this time you'll be able to say, hey, this is my citizenship, I love it at home, I gotta go get it. You can't get it because they won't let you out. So yeah, I feel the deep pain, for folk that are not legalese, or folk that are in the impediments of being deported unjust. And I wish that American can do more to save each other. I mean, that protest supposed to be sending the right kind of messages to the lawmaker and to the government, that that's not the way you're treating people of God. But still, just like YouTube, just like social medias, you have troll everywhere, and same thing for that's supposed to be a peaceful protest. It turned out to be an ugly protest. Now you get more authority involved, you get more military involved, and yeah, and people got hurt, people get killed, property being vandalized and being destroyed, and can't get law and order, and it's sad. I mean, it's our country. It's it's our country being divided, and it's sad, you know, and it's affect all of us. It's not just the immigrants. It affects us also because you may think that, well, you know, born here, my family were here 300 years ago, what have you. Could you not have the feelings for people who affect directly? You know, it affect my family too. I have family who came here with a expired visa, or I have good friends who I have clients that I work with in the community that their visa expired. They can't go home because they had no way to go home. So yeah, um, it's sad, but you know what? That's why I'm crocheting, because I can get trapped in emotional distraught and sad easily, and because we have emotion. So that's why I do this crochets. I don't have to worry about much. Yeah, when I do crochet, I can't be talking either because I have to count. And I have to have exact count. I have to have the exact pattern. Otherwise, it'll be funny, right? So that's why when I crochet the last few nights, I don't talk, because if I talk, I miss my count, and I can't crochet and talking because it needs that concentration. Okay, so but I'm so glad that you here with me, conversing with me on your sending me the comments and all that. That's beautiful. Well, Brenda, you thank you for sharing your experience. But do not go pee in the pool no more. Okay, just consider that children are swimming, and just be respectful. Yeah. So if you need to go to the outhouse, do that. You know, I mean, if you have the whole valley to like Macaulay River, you want to outlet, then go do it. Let it flow. You know, I mean, feed it to the salmon. I don't care. No, so yeah, just I'm not boycotting an Asian fish from Asia. You know, I mean, China does the same thing, and Thailand did the same thing. You know, I mean, I'm sure that this AV, uh, it just take part of that recycling, of the recycling of the good of the earth. Yeah, just like the well we eat the well we eat the smaller fish, the smaller fish eat the smaller fish, and the smaller fish go in a circle, again, the cycle of life. But the recycle of poop, that is it's 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 not healthy. And you know what? And so when I was in Vietnam, oops, I said it, Vietnam. So um, so after I arrived there, so my family take me to the market, right? So not only that, I got mosquito bite here, I got mosquito bite everywhere. You know, I mean, for the visitor, and we so sensitive to mosquito bite, and so every bite you get the little dot, pink dot, right? Um, so I walked to the market, and I got short sleeve on, and all the Vietnamese vendors looking at me and said, they were laughing. First of all, can't understand a whole lot, right? Because I don't, well, I understand enough what they were laughing about. So they call me the word me mean American. Um, so I went to the fish market, and this is when I start to learn that no fish, no meat. We're just gonna get vegetable. We're gonna blanch the vegetable good. We're not gonna use the water from the river or the stream. I have to watch they were cooking for me, if they will prepare food, that vegetable and fruits, and that I make sure that I use the blanch water with the boil water to wash it, because yeah, they were fishing the water from the river that they poop in. So that's kind of life that they enthrall with. That's the kind of life that they adapted to. So you cannot blame them, because no one educated them. But you know, you don't need an educator to learn that you do not utilize the water that people poop in. It's simple arithmetic. You don't need to solve an algebra problems. problem is that they don't know, and that's why people die. Their life expectancy is short. People die when they turn 40, 30, and they lost their teeth, their eye, the sight is missing, the hair falling, they get old. And because the contamination and all those diseases that they built in from the food, from the water, from the pesticides and all that people accumulate and put in the body. So I didn't enjoy too much because first of all, it was sad to see the living conditions. So I dispersed the money and give to each family members, and the living condition, the living quarter was shabby because the war, the country just went through wars, and there was no rehabilitation, there was no real buildings, and you can see the house that got bombs, and it was shabby. It was shabby, just like in Cambodia. So this is before the American embassy was established in Vietnam. So I traveled at a time where it was very crucial. So the whole Ho Chi Minh City was congested with biker, the smog and all that. So it still does now. You know, I mean, it got worse because people got richer now. There's more moped and motorcycle on the street. Same thing with Cambodia. I haven't been to Laos. Next time when I visit Thailand, I will cross over to Laos. So because I speak the language, so it'd be advantageous to me. And I speak Thai, so I don't have issue going to Thailand. I speak Cambodian. I don't have issue going home. I speak some Vietnamese, just enough not to be treated crazily. So that's what I do. I like to travel to the country where I be able to dialogue, you know, because I'm not going to go to the country where I don't understand the language, and when something bad happened, I won't be able to understand they were talking about or where they're going to take me to. So I don't care if I don't get to travel around the world. But now English language become the primary language you'll like throughout the world. But there's certain area where people don't dialogue in English, you know, like the village or people who live on the mountain, stuff like that, you know. So this is where the place that you don't want to visit and take the challenge and just be promiscuous, be prepared. You know, when I went to Thailand with my mom, we spent almost $1,500 doing the vaccination, you know, because they're required by the CDC, you know. But people told me, oh, we didn't get vaccination for typhoid, for yellow fever, and what else? Hepatitis A, hepatitis B, C, and all that. But then you do that for yourself, protect yourself. You know, I mean, I don't know how effective it is. You know, it may not do anything at all. It's just a conspiracy with the government trying to control your traveling. Now you can even travel to certain part of the world, and certain part of the world cannot enter U.S. because the new administration imposed that law and regulations. So, in fact, I don't even want to travel now. Not even with the passport, you know. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable flying long distance with the aviation department is going bongo with their safety, with their, you know, all the accidents going on. And some said, well, you know, only the commercial flights never occur, very rare occur, but then all the small plane and jet that always crash and stuff like that. Still, I haven't go back East Coast to see my family because my kids are telling me that, Mom, I don't feel comfortable you flying. So I haven't seen my kids since Christmas. So I'll see about this Christmas. I'm probably going to visit them. I'm just going to say, good Lord, just, you know, bless me again. I'm going to be asking you another 700 times. 700 times. So I still have a lot more blessing to go with the Lord. So I do that for real. So I need to go see my kids this Christmas. That's where I normally spend my time with my family. East Coast, my grandkids, my children. So I'm just praying for peace around the world, because I know that Thailand and Cambodia, they also had a little thing going on. They were exchange heavy artilleries and killing innocent people. They order evacuations and all that. So I think they're gonna go war. Those are my two countries. My grandparent country, my country are fighting again. I mean, back in what 17, 1800s. Well, they're fighting over the land and slaveries and all that. So they're gonna do it again. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, I don't even want to hear about it. Because it affects both of my country, Cambodia and Thailand. They gotta come in peace in between somewhere there. Okay, so I've been on here long enough. I wanted to finish this scarf. I probably, if I go longer, I'll be talking until I turn blue, because I have so many stories to tell. But most of the story that are very profound to me is experience living in the camp, where I learned to cook, crochet, knit, and all that. I mean, all the homemaking that I didn't really appreciate at the time. I didn't appreciate at the time because my parents keep telling me that, oh, cooking is no good, crocheting is no good, you cannot make a living by doing a crochet, by doing the sewing. But of course, I mean, sewing, you can make a living out of it. And that's why all those major fashion company make clothes for you. This came from the tailors. So then my mom and dad had further visions about bringing the children over here, and that we're going to get formal education, and that we can escape, build a life here, that to pursue in teaching, in nursing, or even in something greater. I did not attend any of that. I went to get my high school diploma, and I was late start. I didn't finish until I was 21 and a half, because when I came, I was already 17, almost 18, but I got my rite of passage to attend one of the high school in Stockton, California. I have to shout out to Lincoln High School. That has been a blessing to my life, that allowed me to receive my education for 4 years without kicking me out, because I didn't know the school system in America, and that what age sets to be in what grade. I'm supposed to be in college, but because I don't have formal education, so Lincoln High School was so kind to me. The principal, Dr. Villan, was nice, and my English teacher, Mrs. Graham, and my counselor, Mrs. Morrison, and my English teacher also, Mr. K, John K. He probably retired. He's from Malaysia, so I probably have to search out for him if he's still alive. And a lot of good teachers that are my mentor, and I have to thank Mintam DeAngeli, the social worker who assigned to come to the school to work with us, and because there were so many issue going on at Lincoln High School, because Lincoln High School was supposed to be like one of those upscale high school for the rich neighbors. Lincoln High School, or the Lincoln Village, is a primary the rich folk. They live in beautiful home, beautiful land, and go to Lincoln High School. The Lincoln High School only had one high school and a few of the elementary school. So because being 17 years old, I was still eligible to attend high school for that year. But Lincoln High School was so kind. At the time, they had Chapter 1, where they applied for the English learner language, so they had a lot of funding from the state to educate the refugee children. So I entered Lincoln High School, and they will be able to give me the proper education for the year until I walked with the diploma at 21 and a half, because I was born in January, and then the graduation was in the early week of June. So I was the oldest kid who would graduate from Lincoln High School, and I didn't know that, until later years, and I found out that all of my classmates were 4 years and a half younger than I am. I was like the old hen, and And that 4 years of English learning, it prepared me for something greater. Because the living condition in a refugee camp, the English tutors and the English tutor have to be paid, and there was no English class taught. There was French class taught because some of the elderly from Cambodia, they French speaking, so they built a center where they teach French for free, but because we got denied access because my family denied asylum in France, so then we have to change. I take French class for 2 years when I was in a refugee camp, but then it was useless because when I came to America, I didn't have any formal education or learning English. I didn't even know what the word hello is. So came, without speaking the language, it was like harder, and I become nostalgic, and because Lincoln High School is in the upper class neighborhood for the upper class folk kids. So, that little zoning, the zigzag zoning, all the rich people on this zigzag zoning, and the other zone belong to the how do I describe this? To the, I don't like to use the word poor, but use what's the term? Needy communities. Okay, so that little zigzag. So, because coming to America, my mom and dad received some refugee settlement program for about 18 months. So with that money, because the children, there were 6 of us, so the government give us extra grant for the kids and my dad. So our counselor went and rent the duplex for us for what, 380 at the time. Rent was affordable, but I mean, everything else was also lower those days. I mean, it was 99 cents or even 25 cents per gallon for for to fill your car. Take about $10. Now $80, $10, depending on what kind how you drive. So the transition was ugly. Why I say ugly? Um, because American government bring the refugee over without any kind of transition preparations. Later on, they make a transition for the refugees to transit into Philippine transition camp, where they bring all the refugees from Vietnam, Cambodia, from Laos. Some of them they transport them to refugee settlement program in Philippines. There they set up a center to provide with education, teaching life skill, teach them some English. But I when we bypassed all that. We came straight from the refugee camp to America, so there was no training, nothing for us. So we weren't prepared. So when we came, it was like in August. It's still warm, but then it was cold because it was the people that make it feel cold. I mean, and then finally, when I attended school, I met other refugee kids. Right away we connect. There was so many refugee kids in Lincoln High School because of that zigzag zone. So then the bad thing about Lincoln High School, then they weren't prepared to receive the large influx of the Southeast Asian. There were Cambodian, Vietnamese, uh, the Hmong, the Miens, and the Laos, because from the Laos nation itself, they had like 10, 20 other ethnic groups who speak different dialect and languages. The Mien, the Hmong, the Lao Luo, the Lao Tung, they all have their own dialect. And the Hmong people and I think the white and, correct me if I'm wrong, white or blue Hmong, they have their own clan leaders. So then I was happy to see familiar environment. I gotten to meet other Cambodian students, and then the issue was we didn't speak the language, the English language. So the issue was that it was difficult transition because we can't understand the language. I mean, I have three periods of English class, and I remember Mr. K. I remember sharing that my first day when my sponsor took me to school and took me to the sponsor and when the counselor took me to the first class. Well, actually they used the student service to take me to my first class, which is the cooking class, and I can't remember the teacher. She's a sweet young lady at the time. She was a sweet teacher, and I said, so unfamiliar the classroom setting. It was a cooking class, and yeah, they put me in cooking class, and I I don't even know why cooking class. Maybe because they don't know how to deal with us. We don't speak the language. I mean, so cooking class. The class conduct for about 45 minutes. The bell rang. Everybody rush out the doors, and I'm still sitting there. I'm the only one who's sitting there, and I didn't know where to go next. And, to me in Cambodia, we don't rush to another classroom because all the subject will be taught in one classroom. So yeah, so I'm not going anywhere. I can't read my schedule, so I'm not going anywhere, honestly. So I'm just sitting there, scratch my head, why everybody rushing out the classroom. Maybe it's the bathroom break. I don't know. So I'm scared. I don't know the school campus. I don't know where to go. I can't read my class schedule. So I don't know how to ask, so but then there's a folder for me. I'm supposed to show the folder, and then the teacher came over, and I think she asked for the folder. So the sponsor told me that I was supposed to show them the folders, and there was a class schedule attached to the folder. So she looked through my class schedule. So we can't communicate. So she probably worked with the people who new arrival from Mexico or from another country, so they got used to the non-speaking English students. So then she was kind enough to get another student and to take me to the next class, so which was the Mr. K class, the English class. So I have 3 periods of English class. Mr. K was a kind. He wear his spectacles, and he's not very tall. He's a chubby man. He's a happy man. He appeared to be a happy man. So he was the ESL teacher. He assigned to teach the English as second language. So I was happy because I saw so many familiar faces. Cambodian kids, the Asian kid. I'm like, yeah, I'm not scared anymore. And the cooking class, I was only Asian there, so I didn't feel good because I can communicate, and no one is talking to me because they can't talk to me, and I can't talk to them, and when the cooking class started, and I don't know how to cook at the time, and I don't know, not American food though. I cook Thai and Cambodian food because I cooked when I was young, and I went to school in Thailand in the camp to cook. So then I just observed because at the time when the cooking class had projected the mirror on the top, I was just looking at the mirrors, and then there was tests on all the cooking utensils like spatulas and ladles and the pots and the pans and stuff like that. I had no idea. I'm there just sitting like I can't understand a thing. So all I can do is just watch, and then finally in the ESL class. ESL stand for English as second language. So I was taking English as second language for 3-4 years to advance into English communications, like English 1A, 1B, and in a more advanced English class later on. So then I was happy because there's a whole lot of other Asian students in there. Mr. K has Miss her name is Mrs. Diana, and that was her first name, but we call her Mrs. Diana because we trying to be polite. And She was a teacher aide. She was a beautiful blonde and very kind, very loving, and always sweet. And we love her because she's so sweet, and she make us feel accepted. And Mr. K was nice also. He was rigid. He was like, sit down. We're gonna lock the door. You cannot speak to one another in Cambodian or Lao. He make us start speaking English. We can't even speak a word of English. Then he would teach us word, and then we have to orally practice the English language. And he literally locked the door. No one allowed to go in and out until we needed to go. So he said, for this 3 hours, you're going to be dialoguing in English. He'd be teaching us and writing on a chalkboard. This is when the teacher used a chalkboard, to write the script. So you know what? His technique work because it keep us reality check. It keep us focusing. We learn to dialogue um, among the other pupils. And he was rigid, but he was nice. He said that we gotta learn the language. And then so I get familiar with the campus now. I know that first class, cooking class, and the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth period. That's all I have, 4 classes at a time: cooking and the 3 period of English, and just run from one classroom to the next. So I get familiar now. That 6 month down, and then I started in August, September, October, November, December, and then the spring break, and then resume, and then there was summer break, and so things got rough. I think I told the story before. Things got rough, because being different and unwelcoming is like that. That's nostalgic, I just went through war, 6 years in the refugee camp, and came to America, and here I am, being laughed off, being not understood, and being questioned. This is where all the racial slur about the dog missing, the cat missing, and because then they learn about Vietnam War, so they all know about the Vietnamese people. They think that we all look alike. The Chinese, the Vietnamese, the Japanese, they all think that we look alike. And I get so offended when they start calling out and just the racial slur, and when I walk home, there's so many things that happen on the way home. We live about over a mile. There was no busing, but then just go around that golf course, Swisson golf course. And when I have to walk, I used to be so fearful just to walk. When someone walked toward me, I cross the street because they're so mean. Sometimes they spit on me, and sometimes they pull over their car and flash, and spit and name call. All this abuse those days was hurtful because I didn't speak enough language what they were saying, and I was frustrated, and I used to come home and cry. And this is one black family that was a blessing. I can't remember their name now. I wish I had stayed in touch with them. So they take compassion on us because the kid was not old enough to go to high school, but the kid went to elementary school that my 3 of my younger brother attend. So sometimes I come home crying, I got beats, and sometimes I have bruises, and I come home crying. I barely speak the language, and I think it was Daryl, and his wife would come out and ask what's going on. Probably ask what's going on. I said, I got hurt. People fight me. And I learned the first one, fight me. So I think they were trying to console and tell me that, Fana, not all black people, well, sometimes I got beat up by black students, so, I take it personally. I think they're trying to tell me that not all black people are bad, not all white people are bad. They're trying to be reasoning, so I used to cry, I used to have bruises, and walking home, But I got in a fight at the school also. I got in a fight at the gym. I got in a fight at the cafeteria. I chased someone into the classroom and locker room, walking home. I got so many fights. But sometimes I get detention for it because they weren't listening to the reason, But the 4 years, I'm glad that they even kicked me out. They even put me on expulsion list, and Lincoln High School was so good to me, consider the age that I was officially adult, and that they didn't look at my age as an impediment to keep and educating me. So I have a lot to thank them. And Mr. Dean Wilson, he was such a great principal, a loving, kind man, and Mrs. Morrison was a sweet, loving counselor, and every time I get in a fight, and I would talk to the deans and get to the principal office and all that. Sometimes I get detention, sometimes I get Saturday detention, sometimes, but then I never got expulsion because it wasn't my fault. I fight because it was defending myself, and yeah. And I fight so much is that this is when David Carradine Chinaman movie came out, they started calling us Chinamen because we fight so much. And I mean, everybody start fighting, and this is where all the Asian gangs started to form because how we treated all the boys learning about gang activities, they started forming their little gangs, and that's how the little rascal and the other Asian gang formed, because it's the reflections of how we treated in the community, how we treat in school. So what was so intense is that the school have to hire a mediators, trained senior student or expert or even law enforcement to come into the school to work with us, because they just can't handle why there's so many fight going on in school. I fight probably most than anybody else because I don't know why, because I just can't help myself, when people challenge me, calling me eat dog, eat cat, telling me to go home, telling me to all the derogatories, that really hurt my feelings. So when my feeling hurt, I don't care who I have to fight. This time where my opponent was a lot bigger, taller. I'm only, at the time I was only about 4'8" or 5 feet tall, very skinny, because I just got off a refugee camp. There wasn't any nutritional food, so I was like, I didn't even have my first menstrual yet at 17. Okay, so when I came to America, when I started eating the right kind of food, and I got enough nutritional into my system, and then when I reached I grew up to be a woman. So so I have a lot to thank Lincoln High School for their patience with me, for their working with me to allow me to get my diploma despite all the fight. Like I said, it wasn't my fault. The fault that I have was that I didn't have the understanding to control the emotion, to control the hurtful, the name callings, the denial, the rejections, and the laughing. I mean, the name calling was hurt the most. Because that's what hurt the most when we walk home in a group. I still have good friends that walking home with me, and I always take the fight. I mean, they're ready to fight with us also because it's so unwelcoming. They call us name, and then they just challenge you to fight. And I used to just take any fight, and my friend used to like stand and watch, and they never help me. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and her name is Jolene, and we're just talking about how I used to involved in the fight, and then her and the other 4 or 5 friends that walk with me, and never help, never jump in and fight. I'm the only one that got beat up, and my friend would be standing and watching. We're not crazy like you, Anna. We don't want to get hit. Wow. And I jump for you. You don't jump for me. You don't defend me. And so I was just talking about, she was laughing like, yeah, you're crazy, Vanna. You was just crazy girl. We're not crazy like you. We're not crazy. She speak English accent. I'm not crazy like you. You crazy, Yeah, I must be. But anyway, so if you feel any kind of way that you being rejected, you being discriminated against, just know that I went through it a long time. So when I graduated, I started to speak good English, good enough for me. So I went to 4-year college, but then I mean 2 years at San Joaquin County Delta College, but I didn't finish. My first year, I met this guy. So he was a lot older than I am. So he romanced me, and then yeah, I started a family with him. And with that relationship, I have children. So with that relationship, it was another turmoil. So it took me a long time to get out. So I'm free of all that now. I can walk tall, free, and I don't allow people to bully me. I don't allow people to look down on me, to calling me name. I became educators among the service providers, the law enforcement that in the communities, and I developed cultural competency videos that I would go around and educating people about the cultural differences. And I remember when a lot of parents got arrested for coin robbing, when they do the coin robbing when you don't feel good, and then the school report on you for formal abuse, and by the time you get interpreted and to find out what's going on, and the little cubbing now, that all the major sport person now, you have the cubbing, have the rubbing, and all that. I mean, back then people don't know what it was. They thought it was just abuse, and then yeah, all the sucking and all that. So now it become like a Chinese home remedies, a first aid, whatever it was. Back then it was abuse. Every time when they see that mark here and there, they report to CPS, and then I have to work with the adolescent department, with the Stockton PD, and work closely with the sheriff departments and the court systems and the school systems and the communities, and because I mean, bringing all this refugee over, and then California was like a spawning place for Cambodian, Vietnamese, Laos, and this is before another state was opening. And so people say, oh yeah, California was a great state, let's go be with our own kinds, so we have large influx of Cambodian, the Laos, the Vietnamese, the Hmong, the Mien. They move centrally. They gather in Fresno, majority of them in the Bay Area or Southern California, in Long Beach. And most of my family from Long Beach, and then San Diego also. So I have so many family members in the area. I settled in Stockton, so I don't know why my family never moved Southern Cal to be with the other family members. And then yeah, and then after the settlement, people moved to California because it was a more rural community, farming communities, and these people coming from the farming communities, so they want to farm, they want that land, but the government don't understand it. We initiate launching some of the project, the farming project, and where we work with the government and to loan us the land, and started to do irrigations and allow people to go farming. And that's why a lot of Hmong people adopted the project, and they started buying lands, and they save money to buy land, so they start growing small scale of crops, and they sell at the market, at the flea market, or at the Asian grocery store, and become self-sufficient and become like the mainstream farmers. So that was a successful project, the farming project. And then yeah, and I didn't own any land because I was educated. I'm focusing on educating the cultures, both cultures, the American mainstream and the Asian culture. So then I learned the languages, and I started to communicate in a few other Asian languages. So it was become very resourceful. I become the bridge. I become the person who connecting the cultures, people to the law enforcement, to the school, and to the service providers. So I'm the bridge. I'm the advocate for, and the liaison, the better way. Okay, so then I provide so many services because I'm so resourceful now. I'm learning about the resource. I learn about the advocacy. I learn about the connecting. I got trained in different capacity and work with the court. And in fact, I got to work with some of the gang members also. That's why even walk Stockton, I never scared who I'm facing because I've worked with so many gang members. They're just good people who make wrong choices. So I work with their parents. I work through recovery programs, um, through conversion programs. If they're into drugs, into alcohol, and through a conversion program and reports and advocate referrals and stuff like that. So that's what I do. So I'm resourceful. I work with the immigration office and doing all kind of immigration papers, sponsoring, No, I know, I deal with a few deportations. This is before the craziness going on now. Okay, so yeah, when deportation was when the three strike outlaw imposing, well, sending all the major felonies for home. So that was part of initial where they send the three strike out and the Homeland Security is starting to arrest people and send them to the immigration detention center in Tucson, Arizona. It was easier than be able to just go through the due process, and some of them get sent home, some of them get sent back to their family here. So the extensive working with the Asian community allowed me to have so much admiration, so much respect from my community. My language got strengthened, my rapport in the community was strong, and people trusted my work, and I started to work with a lot of family. In fact, when I first moved here to Las Vegas, I was lonely because I departed from my community that I was in for 40 years, and Stockton and Fresno. I spent about 12, 13 years in Fresno. Majority of time was in Stockton, California, where I think the second largest of Asian community living in small town in California. So when I packed and moved during COVID-19 in 2020, I was still working with one of the community-based organization providing the social services. So at the time it was lockdown, so everybody working remotely from home. And then when I moved here, my boss said, "No, Wanna, just I'm not accepting your resume. I mean, not resume, resignation. You just take the job with you because everything is done on phone, virtual call, and all that, and Skype and other virtual calls, and phone calls. So you don't have to be with the person to provide the service." So with that ability, I was able to work for the organization for the next 4 years until the COVID lifted, and then they demand, and that they not demand. It was mandatory. First, it was mandatory work remotely from home, and it was a mandatory to return back to the office. So here I am moving from Stockton, California, like 500-600 mile away, and of course, I won't be able to drive to work every day. So the boss called and said, people are boycotting over here at the agency, saying that, well, after the mandatory to go back to work in the office was taking place, and then I'm still working remotely. They was kind to me for the next 2 years, and then my coworkers started to boycotting and say that they want to continue working from home, also remotely from home, also because I'm still working remotely from home from another state. So we said, why want to get a special treat? But they didn't realize that I speak 4 or 5 languages, so that was a treat for me because I don't have to go door to door to talk to people. Both people that I work with, I've been working with them for the last 30 years. They know me by my first name. If I walk the neighborhood, I'll be fed, I'll be sheltered, so I don't have to worry about who. So people have that community trust. So then they said, well, you have option to come back to California, to Stockton, California, and resume your responsibility. Perhaps there's a higher position for you, you know. And she was the the ED was looking forward to retire and look a suitable candidate. And I said, I just moved here and I just got used to being around my family, and you know, I can't go back. And so then I got terminated. Yeah, that's fine. But then I started doing freelance interpreting services. So I have my own interpreting agency, not interpreting services. So that's what I do for a living. I provide interpreting services. So with that, I still connected with the Asian community. And they said, well, we pay you less because they require on site. Okay, then you want someone on site, pay $50, then go ahead. So, but but still, they be calling me too because they can't find the language specialist. So, because when you speak that many languages, you're great demand anyway. So I know I have to worry about not having a job. Okay, so all right, it was a good conversation today. I appreciate Brenna's and who else was here on my YouTube. I forgot it's not a touch screen. So there you learn a little bit about my history. It's all about my experience learning to survive in any kind of conditions. Yeah. I survived a busy relationship. I survived camp life. I survived genocide. And that's why it was a pleasure to, it's not a pleasure, it's a blessing to stay alive, to have my life prolonged this long, to have my kid being born here and doing great. There's still one or two that still struggle like everybody else, but who doesn't, right? But above all, I'm proud of my kids for striving to better themselves, become entrepreneurs and business owner. I'm heck of proud of my kids. They're such a wonderful, great kids with ambition, put it that way. So I'm gonna finish this tomorrow, and tomorrow, guess what? Tomorrow like I was saying earlier in my cooking show that I have this ripened bananas that I have to cook it, otherwise it's gonna go bad. Okay. So there's one or two way. I either do fried bananas or I'll do sticky rice banana cake. I think I told my audience that I'm gonna make the grilled banana cake, which is something that you don't see very often, but I want to share that with you. I already had my sticky rice soak. It's in the fridge. I was supposed to cook today, and I decided to do this instead. So tomorrow, that's what I'll do. I'll get up a little early, and yes, and I was mentioned and saying that when people impose the impediments about not having enough time to do exercise or do other things. So 8 hours, 9 hours at work, 10 hours at work, come home, cook and clean, and it's bedtime. I got that. Okay, but you have to make time for yourself. You dedicate maybe 30 minutes, an hour a day. If you have to get up early in the morning to do that, do that. If you do that before bedtime, you do that. So if you have time, 2-3 hours to flip the phone and keep scrolling, see what's going on with everybody else life, maybe you take that time to switch the phone into a healthy program where you just take care of your home. Okay, if you're not already joined the health club, then do it home. I do it at home. My daughter has club member for me. Sometimes I just go do the sauna. I love sauna. Stay there and sweat, and sometimes I do elliptical, and I don't try to do too much because I lose weight quick. So I'm already like, I don't want to be in size 0. I'm already down to size 2. So I don't want to be any skinnier. I'm not trying to say that, yeah, well, whatever. No, it's not ever, whatever, okay? Because I always been petite woman. I never been big. The biggest weight that I had was during the lockdown where, I lived close to the refrigerator. So I weighed about 39 pounds. That was like, I fit inside 4 at the time, I mean, I like, my face was like the full moon, my arm was like a Hulk Hogan. And yeah, and then I said, oh man, the scale must be wrong. No, it's not. The scale is right. I'm wrong. So then I started doing exercise and started attending gym regularly and become um, gym rat. I like that because the other houses, I can walk to the gym in 5 minutes. So then I hear it's a little bit further, and what changed my attitude about attending gym was with this person who was not very kind, and we almost got in a fight because he was being, again, radicals and obnoxiously rude and discriminated toward another couple, which it passed through my ears. So I didn't like the fact that how they treated. So we started talking, yeah, and I never wanted to go back to that health club again, though the manager take him a long time to come out and learn what's going on, So I didn't see the gentleman again after I returned there a few times, but that's not enough reason for me not to go back to the health club. It's just that we move also, so it's about another 5 miles for me to have to go to that health club. So I thought, no, I just do my thing in the backyard. So that's what I do. I started doing, and my daughter bought me these yoga programs. I got good at it, and I love it because it allowed me to do moderate stretching that I need for my age, and just start to establish that kind of life. What do you call it? Lifestyle. I mean, me to scroll this 4 or 5 hours a day, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, it's effortless. Okay, if you divert 1 hour a day, turn your phone, put on slow song or spiritual song or something, and do something about it. Don't sit there as a, well, it's hopeless. No, no. Take care of yourself, because eat good too. Don't say, well, good food is expensive, but just remember that what you save from not eating good food is what's going to pay for the hospital bills and the doctor's bill. So just put it that way. The investment is in your life, in your health. It's not in the bank account. It's not in the house. The house is good. You can buy the house and you can own for 100 years after you die, and where the house go. You can drive that car for 10 years, 30 years, and after it die, where the car go. You can have $1,000,000, and when you die, where the money go. So if I have $1,000,000, I'll make sure that I have a beautiful kitchen, that I'm just cook delicious, healthy food every day. Maybe I'll travel and try different kind of food. I don't like frog, I don't like snake, I don't like game meat, so I'm just strict to chicken, some fish, some seafood, maybe pork and beef. I'm good, right? But then just invest the money in your health. If you feel good inside, you will feel good out here. If out here is beautiful, you start looking gorgeous, and then it increase the power, the energy in here, and then and all in the circle of health related. Okay, if you're good here, you're good out here. If you're good here, you're not good here, and then you're not good. It's not the same. If I'm okay, you're okay. If you're not okay, then I'm okay. It have to be I'm okay, you're okay. It can be yin and yang. So that's all I have to share with you today. It's a common story that we all have, and that's what make us great. All that experience that we live through. If you live through to tell, you're great. But if you just struggle, you can get out of it. Then this is a time where you can seek professional help. It's okay to get help. I know I have to do that because, like I said, this was my therapy. Cooking is my therapy. helping other people is my therapy. Prayer is my therapy. Reading scripture is my therapy. And communicate with God and the Creator is my therapy. So I'm trying to use the most healthy therapies that I can think of so that I don't end up in the mental institutions or being hospitalized or being in the institution of being medicated. So if I'm healthy out here, there's no medication need, there's no high blood pressure, um, there's no high cholesterol, there was no diabetes, no blood sugars. You're free of all those chronic illnesses. But you're not going to be free. You always have something. I have something that's more crazy, but I'm still here. Okay, so I'm good. I'm thankful for that. So yes, so always be taking care of yourself. Take an hour, 30 minutes. If you have really strict hours time that you can't do physical activity. If you work in a tall building, there's a staircase, and take the staircase. During your break, you have 3 breaks per day. You have one lunch, you have 2 breaks in between. So use those the 10 minutes. All you do is 10 minutes a day. Okay, you can take a short walk around the buildings or on the street or wherever you're at. Make sure it's safe. Make sure that it's in the crowded area. Okay, don't go out in the crazy area where you subject yourself to being kidnapped, being hurt, being pulled into the bush. I'm saying, you got to use your good sense. You got to use you have to be intuitive. You have to be smart in everything that you do. Okay, don't put yourself in a dangerous situation. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So, but you also have to be smart about caring for yourself. Don't wait until I'm retired and I start attending gym. No, by that time you're probably late already. So take care of yourself now. So that way, when you retire, you'll be looking gorgeous, like golden girl. Like that. I mean, yeah. Just just the love that you love yourself, that it radiated to your family and to those who around you. Okay, right? The message of love today. I hope you do well. I hope all you're doing well. If I don't finish this tomorrow, I'll come back and do this, and it's my physical therapy, so I can talk to you guys. Today I talked too much, and I missed my count, so I have to go back and figure it out. All right. So where you at? Thank you for the comments. Appreciate that. It's beautiful to have people who enjoy time with you for no reason. You don't have to be out there rioting and be the superhero and things like that. You just be superhero to your family, to your kids, to your loved ones, and be the nurture person that you need to upbringing your kids, right? Upbringing your grandchildren, those who are affected, who you care for, who you love, and who you can upbringing them. Okay, so for me, I'm here with my kids and my grandkids, and though things not always peach and creams, but you know what? It never gonna be. Doesn't matter where you're at and who you with. Just do the loving patience and forgive and forget and move on. Okay, so that's how we survive. We just like a chameleon. We just like the certain species of insects where they have to camouflage to survive. For being eaten by being eaten, right? So same thing for us. We can't camouflage, but we can deal with it, with our mental health, with our emotion, with our physical, all that God giving you, and be able to take care of yourself. Okay. All right. Until I see you again tomorrow, we're gonna be cooking together. I will pull my TikTok fan also. They love watching me cooking. I don't know what it is. They'll be sending me like 4,000-5,000 on heart. It's crazy. I love it. I love that kind of respect. And once in a while, I get a troll where it's not even my followers, my or someone I follow me, so I can go back and trace that. But then never mind. Then he can come back, and this time I'm just gonna give him a piece of my mind. I'm not gonna be rude, but I'll be frank and be straightforward, right? So Until I see you again, much love, much respect. Take care of your mental health, take care of your emotion, take care of your body, take care of your heart, take care of the whole thing. Until I see you again. Good night and good day wherever you're at. With much love and respect.